I am opening myself to see. I am opening myself to believe that everything I want, everything I need, all of this and more, are waiting patiently for me to believe and be open to receive. Some of you may recognize this song called "You Will Do Amazing Things," because Megan McDonough has been here before. I didn't notice how many newcomers do we have here. Wonderful, so glad to have you. So glad to have you. This is a church that is very supportive of the traveling musicians who do concerts around the country, and we do all kinds of concerts. I mean, I've played Carnegie Hall and recorded a live CD there, and I go to Unity, so when I travel, I love to come to Unity churches and share music. So this church has numerous concerts coming up in the next few weeks, because next weekend is the Positive Music Awards in Orlando. And some people from this church will be going there to the Posse Music Festival. We call it the Posse Fest. So in the next few weeks, you should have some really awesome artists who are here in Orlando for that, and always come to this church because we love the people here. Yeah. With a choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make, the reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams, you will do amazing things. I invite you to sing along if you know it. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, we're here to do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. You know, as I sing that verse, I think about how we were thinking when we wrote it of that Dr. Seuss book, Oh, the Places You Will Go. And as we sing this song, I want you to think about how easy it is to tell children, oh, the places you will go. Don't worry the when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy this day brings. You will do amazing things. Can we say those things to ourselves and enjoy this day knowing that we will continue to do amazing things? Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. We're here to do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come while you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. And sing with me if you want to. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. We're here to do amazing things. We're here to do amazing things. We're here to do amazing things. Gosh, as I listen to that song, I think about, and I hope you've been thinking about, how amazing our lives have already been. Just think about the house you grew up in for a minute. Was your house small? Did you ever go back and drive by that house you grew up in? And were you shocked at how small it was? You didn't even realize, did you? And compared to the other houses in my little town, our house wasn't small. But you know, I travel to so many countries now, and I lead volunteer trips. I've got one coming up to Cambodia. And I can remember the first time I went to India, I came back and I was so excited. I loved India. My first morning in India, for breakfast, I was at this little restaurant, and they said, "What kind of juice would you like?" And I saw mango juice. I thought, mango juice? Yeah, let's go for that. I'm picturing some sort of high C, sort of mango juice. It was actual mango pulp that was so thick you had to have a big, thick straw with one of those little spoon things on the end. I thought, oh, I like this. India was so beautiful. One more quick India story. I was speaking at a women's conference where there were 500 women from 48 countries who were supposedly, some of those countries, warring countries that hated each other. You know how you hear this country hates that country and that country hates our country. When I travel around, I never experience any of that. Even in France, they're just rude to everyone. So I think we have to get over ourselves. Oh, they were rude to me because I was American. No, they were just as rude to the next person. That was their best friend. It's just like how they are. But in India, everyone, can you imagine 500 women in their most beautiful saris? Because we all wore saris just because, we were in India, even if we were from other countries. And it was one of those places where the stage is down here and then it's the seats go up like that. Can you imagine 500 women in their most beautiful saris? It was so gorgeous, and we were there for multi-days. There was one woman, and she had a sari. It was a raspberry color. It was the most beautiful raspberry color. In India, they call it Rani pink. And I kept going to her and saying, now, remind me the name of this color. Rani pink, Rani. No, Rani pink. And even though hers was not the most glittering sari, it had little embroidery and little beads on it. To me, it was just the most elegant. She reminded me of the way my grandmother never wanted big jewelry. She liked to use the word ostentatious. She just liked things that were delicate, but she wanted them to be real. On the third day of the conference, I was friends with the woman by then who had worn the Rani pink sari the first day. And she brought me something wrapped up in brown paper. Can you guess what it was? Her Rani pink sari. There's so much love all over the world. And when I came back, I was so excited about my trip to India. And some people, my home base is Nashville, Tennessee. Some people would say, oh, I just don't know how you can go to India. I just couldn't stand the smell. And then all those poor people, I just don't know how you can do that. I couldn't do it. It would just break my heart. I think if Donald Trump drove through the neighborhood I grew up in, you couldn't even really call it a neighborhood. It's just a little town. And we all had farm animals in the yard and in the house. My mom will never forget when she got this new coffee table. New to us didn't mean it was brand new, but it was new to her. And it had 2 scratches like this and 2 like that from our goat, our baby goat Poncho that ran in after the kids and just jumped onto her coffee table and slid. And I could just imagine Donald Trump and his wife going through our little town and going, oh, I just can't stand the smell. And all those poor people with the animals right there in their house, farm animals in the house. Oh. It's all perspective. So I want to take you back to a shocking thing that happened at my Unity Church. Now, of course, it wasn't my Unity Church, it's just the Unity I go to, But, it's my church, just like this is your church. This is your church. So it happened at my church in Nashville, and it was so long ago. I was in my 30s. Now, I'm going to let you guess how long ago that actually was. But this guy, I don't know if you recognize, Richard McDeesey was my music director. And now he's the head of the Positive Music Festival and the Posi-Paloozas. But he was my music director, and I can remember this one shocking Sunday where this woman got up and she talked about tithing. Now, what was shocking was that she wasn't Edwin Gaines. She was talking about tithing, but it wasn't Edwin Gaines. For those of you who are new to the Unity movement, there's a woman named Edwin Gaines, and she is very well known for talking about tithing, and she's funny, and she's awesome, and she talks about giving to the place where you get your spiritual food. Well, this Sunday morning, this was a board member, And the thing is, this was a regular person, such as myself. She was an independent, single female. She had her own business. And she was saying that she tithed as a spiritual practice, and it was a spiritual practice she loved. I hadn't heard it that way before, especially from a regular person such as myself. Not Edwene Gaines, not a leader in some movement, but a regular person. Now, you've probably noticed that regular people don't often talk about giving or tithing or donating, but I believe that we should. Because one of the things she said that I'll never forget is, she said it was a spiritual practice that she loved and that she always had more than enough. And she said she tithed with her business, not just her personal, but she tithed with her business. And that she always had more than enough. That's what stuck with me, that she always had more than enough. Now, at that time, I had just left my full-time job. I had always had a full-time job. Hold your hand up if you're one of those people who have had lots of full-time jobs in your life. Hold up if your hand if you ever left a full-time job to go off on your own. I'm not going to hold your hand up, but I was actually invited to leave my full-time job. Yeah, like, Jana, your pink slip is showing. Yeah, my employers, I was working in the music business. I had been a television news reporter for 4 years, but I always wanted to do music. So I went to Nashville, but I wasn't exactly doing music. I got a job in the music business so I could understand everything. But after 4 years of working in the music business and doing music on the side, my two employers, who were probably younger than these two beautiful ladies at the time, they weren't, we were all roughly the same age. These two women brought me in and said, Jana, we don't want to hurt your feelings, but, we think you ought to be doing what you really care about, and we frankly can tell this is not what you really care about. I don't know how that showed. Sort of like when I was a television news reporter and I got called into the office one time, and my boss held up this book called Dress for Success. Remember that, Dress for Success? He said, Jana, this book says you're supposed to dress for the job you want to have. Now, you're a reporter, and what we would like for you to dress like is an anchor woman, because we want you to dress like the job that you want to have. You're representing the station. You are dressing like you want to be a rock star. Well, there's this line in 12-step programs that says, you'll notice that God is doing for you. Can anyone finish this sentence? What you could not do for yourself. You'll notice that God is doing for you what you could not do for yourself. Amen. Amen. You're fired. Message from God, you're fired. Go do it. Well, so this was the Sunday that this woman was speaking at my church, saying that she always had more than enough. Now, I was trying to scrape by on $10 cassettes. Cassettes sold for $10 at that time, and I was trying to pay my entire monthly car payment, rent, all of that with love offerings and $10 cassettes. So when she said she always had more than enough, I thought a lot about that, because I had tried tithing before, like I'm sure you have. I had tried tithing before, but the thing is, I tried tithing pretty much every time Edwene Gaines came to town. I'm hearing a knowing laughter right here. And the thing is, why did I need to restart every time Edwene Gaines came to town? Because I kept failing. Now, I wasn't afraid of tithing. I had obviously tried tithing many times. But I was afraid of failing. I didn't want to fail at my tithing. So I was thinking about how she said she liked doing it and that she always had more than enough. Somehow she always had more than enough. Now, if you look at it this way, where I was at that time, I never had more than enough. So in a way you could look at it, well, I'm not tithing and I never have more than enough. I could be tithing and either not have more than enough or have more than enough. So I had a 50% chance at that point, right? A 50% better chance of having more than enough. Musicians are not known for logic, but I could see the logic of that. I'm going to do this song of mine that you probably know, called What Would I Do Today If I Were Brave? And I want you to allow it to speak to you about any courageous choice that you're thinking of, with courage meaning heart and spirit. A choice with heart and spirit. What would I do if I knew I could not fail? If I believed with the wind always fill up my sail, like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? There's a sing-along part if you like to sing. What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? Are there miracles in you and me? If anyone has children here, the answer would be yes. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? Here's the sing-along part. What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage whisper in my ear, this is what I'd hear. I am brave enough to move ahead where true believers dare to tread. And I'll never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step will I take today? I am brave. This last time, let's say, what will I do today? I am brave. 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 Thank you. You know, the way I got into, the way I discovered Unity Church is there were 12-step meetings there. And the first 12-step meeting I ever went to was Adult Children of Alcoholics. And when I was there, I picked up this little thing on the wall that had these brochures, and it said, "What is Unity?" I picked that up, and those were the things that I believed. What Unity believes is what I believed. And I just read through, and I just went, "Oh, there are others?" There's a whole church for people who believe that God is good and that people are good, that we are born good, that we want to be good. There's a whole church for that. Yay! So I was still going to Unity and still going to 12-step meetings. And so thinking about this idea of tithing, I started thinking about how I was learning not to be an all-or-nothing thinker. Not to be a black and white all-or-nothing thinker. Instead of either or, it could be both and. And I was learning start small. I was learning one day at a time. So I think these are the problems that I'd had when I was trying to tithe before. I made it all or nothing. You're either going to do this full blast, or what would the alternative be? Not do it at all. So I thought, okay, here's the other thing. We think, oh, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. From this day forward. And then, if we don't do it, then we feel like a failure. Not only that, like we failed God. I'm just saying how I felt. So I thought, okay, why don't I apply these things? Start small. Easy does it. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. One day at a time. And in the whole one day at a time philosophy, if you make a commitment that you don't want to do something, like you don't want to drink, you don't want to be a compulsive overeater, you don't want to Debtors Anonymous, all these things you want to stop doing to make your life better. If you do it again, it isn't a failure, because one of the things I learned in 12 steps is there are no steps backward. So let's say even if I am on a path and I fall totally over to where I didn't want to be, there are no steps backward, because we learn, and we learn how to get back to where we want to be, because it's one day at a time. If I fail, I start again. I love this line, a sinner is just a saint who falls down and gets back up. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try a smaller percentage. I'm going to try a smaller percentage. I'm going to do it one day, 1 week at a time. And in 12-step groups, you're talking to people. So I decided I'm going to tell some people I'm doing this. So I told a few friends that I was trying it. I think if you try that, your friends will say that they might want to try it too. Trying together is a good thing, like when we're in Prosperity Plus. How many people have taken a Prosperity Plus class? I'm in a Prosperity Plus class too. My friend Vashti says she's taken it 4 times. It's not because it doesn't work, it's because it works so well you want to keep taking it. So let me tell you what happened when I decided to try tithing imperfectly. Yeah. I started putting the money in, like as soon as I made a deposit, I took 10% and I put it in a different account so that it would always be there. And if it was my savings account, then so that I have to pay extra money for a savings account, I always knew how much money was there at the bottom, which is my tithe money. And so I don't count that. So the money in savings is above that. So I started imperfectly, but I kept doing it. I kept doing it one day at a time. So here are the things that happened. And they didn't happen right away. But at that time, you know, I'm making my living $10 at a time, right? From my cassette sales. I got a call from the muscular dystrophy telethon saying they'd heard about the music I did at muscular dystrophy camp in Texas. I'll get back up here so you can see me. And they wanted to know if they could make a music video of my song, If I Were Brave, and feature the kids from muscular dystrophy camp. Do you know how much a music video would cost? Do you have any idea how much it meant to me to have them come to the muscular dystrophy camp where I loved those kids every summer? If you've ever volunteered with kids, you know how much it meant to the kids. Now, I didn't notice right away what a blessing that was. Who do you think noticed that maybe tithing had something to do with it? Who do you think noticed? The friends. That's a value of telling friends what you're doing, that the friends noticed it. Now, I won't say that huge miracles like that continue to happen, but I always have more than enough. It's been since, it's been over 20 years now. It's a practice that means a lot to me. It's a spiritual practice because it increases my faith that I am always abundantly cared for. Now, at the time that I started, I also had credit card bills. And my friend Vashti helped me think of another way to see that. MasterCard advances me money. And I pay back the advance. I don't like the word debt somehow. They've given me an advance. They trusted me enough, as Vashti says, they trusted me enough to give me money in advance, and I'm paying them back. Somehow that feels better. So what I want to say, because I want to be completely transparent here, that none of it works perfectly. None of it, it works perfectly, but it doesn't happen perfectly. I'm not perfect. I still have a lot of money that I'm paying back to MasterCard continuously. Okay, up till now it was continuously, but I still take that percentage. And after noticing that I could do it with the smaller percentage, I raised it up and raised it up. A person who works with me in bookkeeping said, "Now, Jana, things are getting a little bit lean right now. It's been over the Christmas holidays." She didn't say a little bit lean. She said, "You need to consider what's in your tithe account because we may need to use that." I was like, "You're new here." You don't know me. Visa will wait. But I'm not touching that tithe account for anything except supporting good work in the world. So I'm going to close with just